Originally from Maryland, David is now finishing his degree in aviation through Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. David has spent his time in college growing closer to the Lord through prayer, community life, and service to others. Hoping one day to be a pilot for a major airline, David plans to achieve this goal by honing his skills as a flight instructor. This is a Know His Love story.
You're younger in high school, and probably early college. Um, it, I always went to mass and I went to confession sometimes, and I knew that it was something I had to do. Like it was more just like a check off the list, like get it done. But it was always like um, I kind of took it for granted in the fact that if I like would do something wrong, I could always just be like, oh, it's okay, I'll just go to confession afterwards, and it'll be fine. And with maths, like it was just like, okay, I'll go to maths. This is something I have to do, but it was never really something that was at at the center of my life, and I didn't really think about it as like, you know, God chose me, God loves me. It was more just like God's there, and I am supposed to do this um, because that's what He told me to do, and it wasn't really anything much more than that. Um, and even in college, like I would go to the Newman and OU Catholic meetings, but that it still wasn't like the center of my life. Like I knew I liked being around Catholics, and I knew they were good people, but I still didn't really pray a whole lot or go to confession a lot. I still went to mass on Sundays and occasionally went to daily mass, but other than that, I didn't really um, know God fully, and or didn't really take into consideration how much His love for me, or like why I was doing it really. So I think it was really when I just took a leap of faith. Um, I heard in one of my theology classes last summer that you can't form a relationship with God until you trust Him. Just like you can't form a friendship with someone until you trust them on some sort of level. So it was really when I took that leap of faith that God started showing me more and more like His love for me. So it started spring semester of last year until 2019. Um, I was invited on a mission trip, and I decided to take a theology class that summer. And doing those things, going on that mission trip, showed me like the true joy that God, gives people, even like people that aren't nearly as fortunate as I am. So that's what really um, stood out to me. It's like seeing that joy, and like not only making those people joyful, but it also in turn made me joyful in myself, knowing that I've served those people and participated in that love of Christ. Um, and then those joys just kept coming. So um, in the fall, I went on a retreat. It was Buckeye Awakening, and saw so many joys in that. Um, so many joys within the Newman community, and especially when I started praying every day and making God more the center of my life. Leading Buckeye Awakening was even more joyful, and now um, working at the food pantry and being in a men's group with a lot of people who are going to push me forward. So really, it all started with that trusting God, taking that leap of faith, and God definitely has not disappointed um, when when I trust Him in showing me His love. It means that I can always um, count on God to help me in a tough situation or lead me to what His plan is. Although it might not be what I wanted, I can still count on Him to lead me somewhere, or to lead me to what is best for me. Just like you can count on a father when you're young to help lead you and protect you against something that will harm you. Your father can provide for you, just like God will provide for you. It might not be the thing that you wanted, just like when you were a child. If you really wanted to go get an ice cream from the store, um, that might not be the best thing for you. Um, so your dad's not, your fathers might not necessarily do that for you. just like in the same way with God, like you really might want something, or you really might want a job or an internship, but you know, God the Father might not know it's the best thing for you. So really, like, um, to me, being a son of God the Father means that I can trust Him, and He's gonna do what's best for me, especially if I put my trust in Him. Just like in all the joys, like all the joys that I've seen, all the joys that I've seen through other people and through myself, all different ways. So the various retreats that I've been on, the various ways that I lead people, with even religious education and at the food pantry and in the men's group, just all the joys of seeing those people as the result of God's love for me, showing it to them, and they always show it right back to me. So that's really my favorite thing, is just seeing those joys in those people as a result of me trusting in God and God providing, and definitely not disappointing in those ways. I would just say, just take that leap of faith. Start taking risks in your faith. Like, maybe trust God in small ways first. So maybe step outside your comfort zone a little bit. Try doing a service project or volunteering one day, and seeing how that impacts you. Seeing, really evaluating on like an intellectual level and a spiritual and emotional level. Like, how has that made you feel? How has that changed the way you think? How has that changed your view of God? Um, just taking that leap of faith and doing those small things first, and then seeing God's love, how God's love is revealed to you for those things.